Welcome to the Bookish English. Hey everybody, this is Clark, and you're listening to episode 135 of the Bookish English. I hope you all had a good end of the year, and I hope that you're ready for 2025 and motivated to make this a good year for you. At the time of recording this, it's still November. I'm recording this very early. However, when this is released, it will be 2025. So, I want to make sure to wish you all a happy new year. In today's episode, I want to talk about the fact that it's going to be a new year when this episode is released. Like I said, it's not a new year for me yet. It's still November. But when this is released, it will be a new year, and I want to have a new mindset. This episode will be mostly for myself. I want to talk about some of the things that I want to change about my mindset, but I think that you might also benefit from it, because maybe these are changes you can make to benefit your mindset this year. So, I think this will be a good topic. Even though I'm talking to myself here, I am also going to relate it to people in general. Hopefully, you'll benefit from this. Before we continue, remember that if you want to really improve your listening this year and start to understand native speakers when they speak fast, then make sure to join my membership so you can get my specialized listening training. And if you feel ready to practice your listening with real conversation, then make sure to join my U.S. Conversations podcast so that you can practice with those real conversations I have with other native speakers. If you like this podcast, please share it with anyone else you know who's learning English, and please give it a 5-star rating and write a review. All right, let's get started. Are your ears ready? You know what time it is. It's listening time. Let's talk about the new mindset that I want to have this year, and that maybe some of you want to have this year. The first thing I want to improve regarding my mindset this year is that I want to view every day as a gift. I already do this, and I already understand this. I get that this is true, that every day is a gift for me. However, I don't act like it all the time. There are many times when I don't act as if the fact that I'm alive today is a gift, and I kind of take it for granted. In English, when we say that you take something for granted, what we're saying is that you don't appreciate it. You just view it as obvious that it's true, and you don't really stop to consider it. You just say, "Oh yeah, of course," and take it for granted. You don't appreciate the significance of it. So, for me, I know that every day is a gift, but sometimes I take this for granted and don't really act like this in my daily life. I don't act the way I want to act according to this idea. When I say that every day is a gift, what I'm saying is that I need to understand that I don't necessarily deserve good things. Sometimes we can feel like we deserve to have good things. If we have good things, it's because that's how it's supposed to be. We deserve that. However, I think that if we have that type of thinking all the time, then we don't actually appreciate the things that we have. We don't appreciate the good things in our life because we view them as something we already deserve. So why do we need to appreciate it? However, I don't want to have that mindset. I want to have a mindset where I consider every day to be a gift that I don't deserve, but that God gave to me. So, I'm thankful, I'm happy, and I'm going to appreciate this day. I'm not only talking about the day, but all the things inside my day, all the things that happen, that I have, and the experiences that I have. I need to view them as not things that I just deserve, but as gifts that have been given to me. I think that's a good attitude to have. In general, with this mindset, I want to have more gratitude. Gratitude refers to being thankful for what you have. If I view every day as a gift and I don't think that I just deserve all of these good things, then I can be more grateful. I can be more thankful for the good things in my life. For example, when you receive a gift from someone else, you're thankful, right? You didn't have that gift before. No one made that person give you that gift because you deserve it. No, the person just gave it to you, and you can appreciate it and be grateful. That's how I want to view things. Every good thing that happens to me, every good thing that I have, is not something that I deserve. It's a gift given to me. I can appreciate it much more and just be thankful throughout my day. I think I've talked about that in several episodes, but I think it's really important. If you're grateful, your life is going to be a lot better because you actually appreciate things. So that's a big thing. If I'm grateful for every day, I think that I'll enjoy my day more. I'll enjoy the little things, the details that might seem insignificant. I can actually appreciate these details more because I view them as a gift and don't just take them for granted, right? So that's an effect of viewing each day as a gift. I think that I'll be able to enjoy the little things more, and I want to do this because time flies. When I say that time flies, I'm saying that time goes by very fast. I want to stop and appreciate the good things that I have because time goes by fast. Before you know it, you're a lot older and you haven't even appreciated all the cool, amazing things that you've had up until that point. So, that's the first thing that I want to improve about my mindset this year. I want to get better at viewing things as gifts that I receive and not thinking that I just deserve those things. The next thing I want to improve about my mindset is to have my thoughts more balanced when it comes to thinking about the past, present, and future. I think this is something that a lot of people can benefit from. I'm sure that many of you spend more time than you'd like thinking about the past, thinking about the future, or living too much in the present and not thinking about the future. For example, I think that most of us can improve in this regard. Specifically, I need to improve by not thinking too much about the future. I'm the type of person that thinks about the future all the time. I think about the future constantly. I think that it's good to think about the future. There are some great benefits to thinking about the future, of course. However, when you think about the future too much, you run into some problems. In English, when we say that you run into something in this context, we mean that you encounter that thing. You encounter those problems. More specifically, because I think so much about the future is always on my mind. Because of this, I deal with anxiety, and I can't always enjoy the present. This is something that I really want to change. Just like I mentioned when talking about enjoying the little things, I want to be able to enjoy the moment and not be thinking about the future when something really great or precious is happening right now. So I want to balance that. I'm not saying that I don't want to think about the future. Obviously not. However, I want to spend more time thinking about the present. Let's say you're someone who thinks about the past a lot, for example. and I sometimes do this. You might also have another issue. Maybe feeling like you're always regretting things in the past, and you can't enjoy the present because of your past mistakes or things like that. I think it's good to recognize your mistakes from the past, for sure. However, if you're constantly replaying those in your mind, and you're always thinking about the past and things that happened, that can be another issue, right? Or maybe you don't just think about your regrets from the past, but you think a lot about how great the past was and how things aren't good now but were great in the past. That can be a depressing thought, right? To think that everything was better before and now things aren't as good, that's another issue. I think that's a common tendency that a lot of people have. We tend to view the past and maybe exaggerate how good it was, but really, it wasn't that great. We're just looking at it from a future perspective. The same thing will probably happen 10 years from now. You'll look back to things that are current now, and you might think that the things now are much better than the things that will be happening in the future, for example. It's easy to fall into that trap. So I think it's important not to spend too much time thinking about the future or the past. It's also not good to just always think about the present and not think about the past or the future. If you never think about the past, then you're never going to learn from your mistakes. You're never going to learn lessons from experiences that you had. You might not appreciate your memories from the past, so that's not good. And if you don't think about the future ever, then you're not going to have goals for yourself. You're not going to plan to achieve certain things, and you might fall into the trap of just wanting pleasure now. That's not a good thing either, right? We need to learn to also delay our gratification sometimes. When you delay your gratification, we're saying that you do the hard thing now or don't get the pleasure you want now so that you can have it in the future, and usually in a better form. That's an important skill to have. So that's why it's also important to not just focus on this moment and having fun right now, and that's it. We also want to be able to consider the future, the consequences of our actions, and have goals for ourselves. We need to envision ourselves in the future, and I think that's really important as well. For me in particular, my problem is that I need to not think too much about the future and instead enjoy the moment more. I need to be present in the moment, enjoy the little things that are happening right now, and appreciate what's happening now. Another improvement that I need to make is to view things that happen to me as not just happening to me, but happening for me. I heard someone say this recently, and at first, I thought it sounded kind of cheesy. When we say that something is cheesy, it means that it sounds kind of cheap, unoriginal, or inauthentic. It doesn't sound very good. I thought it sounded cheesy, but the more I think about it, the more true it seems. It feels pretty true to me now that I've considered this idea. When I say that things happen for me and not to me, what I mean is that we often feel like we're just the victims of everything that happens. Oh man, this happened to me, or he said that to me, or that occurred, and I just suffered the consequences of all this. Of course, that's a normal tendency for people, especially when it comes to bad, inconvenient, or challenging things. However, if we start to think about these things as happening for us, meaning they happen for our benefit, then we can actually get something good out of these situations. If we view things as happening to us, it means that we complain, get mad, and feel really negative about things we don't like. However, if we view every challenge, inconvenience, or problem as an opportunity to learn, grow, or gain experience from, then things aren't so negative. We can try to take the positive from every situation. This is something that I definitely need to work on. I want to start viewing things as learning experiences rather than just problems that happen to me. I really want to improve in that regard. I want to become stronger from the things that happen to me that aren't so great. I want to use those things to become stronger, to become a better person, and to become wiser. By the way, the word wise means that you have a lot of intelligence because of experience. So, I want to become wiser and learn from these things, instead of complaining about them and feeling sorry for myself. I want to get better at seeing these things from a different angle, a more positive angle. I want to always ask myself, how can I learn from this situation? What can I gain from this experience? How can I become a better person from this? What trait do I need to develop? What skill do I need to develop to better handle this challenge? I want to always try to look for how I can improve from any situation. That's something I want to get better at, and I'm sure some of you might agree with me that this would be a better mindset to have. Lastly, I want to give one bonus mindset change here related to language and language learning. This is a general one, not just for me, but I wanted to give you this extra little encouragement. With language learning, we can sometimes have a mindset where we want to rush things. We want it to go faster. We get annoyed when we feel like we're not making progress, and we get discouraged because it doesn't seem like we're improving fast enough. I think it's better to have a mindset where you are not rushing. Don't rush. There's no hurry here. You're always going to feel like you're failing if you have a mentality where you want things done really fast and want improvement to happen very quickly. That simply doesn't happen very often with language learning. So, if you're listening to me right now, that means you're practicing your English. And if you're practicing your English, you're improving. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't feel like the progress is happening. If you're actually practicing your English, you're listening, maybe you're speaking or whatever, if you're doing this practice, you're improving. It might be happening very slowly, and you might not realize it, but if you're putting in the effort, you're improving. The words you hear me say, the phrases you hear me use, all of these things are going into your brain. They might not stay there, but you're at least being exposed to them. You're getting more exposure to English every time you do your listening practice, and this is helping your brain. It's helping the language learning process. This process might be really slow, but it's happening. I think the mindset change that a lot of us need to have, including me, I'm guilty of this too, is that we need to not rush. Don't feel like the progress needs to be fast because it almost never feels fast, especially once you reach an intermediate level. At that stage, the progress usually seems very slow, but it's happening as long as you continue with your practice. Okay, so once again, don't rush. Just trust that you're improving. You can maybe dedicate more time to your English learning, that would be great, and challenge yourself more by using content that's harder for you. For sure, do those things, but don't expect to see progress really, really fast. Challenge yourself. Dedicate more time if you have it, but just be patient with the process. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're ready for this new year and that you have a good mindset to start this year. And remember, if you want my help understanding native speakers when they speak fast, if you want my training, then make sure to sign up for my membership so you can get my listening practice seminars. If you become a family member, you'll also get my advanced podcast episodes where I speak fast. And if you want to challenge yourself and start listening to real conversations between native speakers in English, you'll also get the transcript for each conversation with definitions of key words and phrases that we use. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends and family members, and give it a 5-star rating and write a review. All right, thank you for listening to this episode, and I'll talk to you on the next episode